I'd like to open up the meeting for the Land and Traffic Committee for all business and transactions that may come forth. Let's start off by the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Howell,
Here.
Gillian,
Here.
McIntosh.
Here. The committee wanted to have this meeting because we were getting a lot of questions or situations in our city on code enforcement. And I'm hoping I had all three entities here to speak for the questions that I know Mr. Privet has one. I have one. So at this point, I would like to open the floor up for Mr. Privet to give us his situation here.
Yeah, I'm here about the parking violations. The city has an ordinance, but in the last 2 years, I've been told that they cannot enforce it. They told me it was sent back to city council to be revised. City council doesn't know anything about being sent back to them, so I requested a land and traffic meeting to see if we could figure out. I was hoping we'd have somebody from code enforcement here, maybe the commissioner or something, but, oh, okay. I've talked to you, but I've never met you. I always dealt with Mr. Sylvan, so. I don't know if you know anything about it or not. I had called last year and this year, code enforcement about, we got boats parked in the front yard, trucks parked in the front yards, trailers parked in the front yards, and I'm consistently told that that code has been rescinded and sent back to city council to be revised because they can't enforce it.
Well, I drove through there.
Could I have you speak at the mic? Yeah.
I've driven by, I drove through there today.
State your name, real.
Oh, Richard Rawlings, building commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
I've driven through there several times, and the only cars that I've seen were parked on the side of the road in gravel. Well, some of the gravel's got grass growing through it, but it's in gravel. And according to our ordinance, if it's in gravel on the front, then it's okay.
Right.
If you want to look at these before I give them to them, you're more than welcome. This is, the problem is that when you guys are working, them guys are gone.
Yeah.
Then they come home, there's the boat in the front yard, it's there all the time. It's not been moved in a year and a half.
Okay, well, we can check and see if there's gravel under it.
There's no gravel under it. That's up in the front yard. There's clearly an ordinance here, there shall be, let's see, where's that? Let me find it. You can only park, you can't park in the front yards. Parking areas will be limited to the rear and or side of the yards except as stated below. No parking will be allowed in the front yards except for permitted parking in easement areas presently in place. A front yard is defined as a space bound by the line extending across the front wall of the house or structure to the lot line on each side and by the street right-of-way. So that means you can park in the front by the road.
Yeah.
Well, there's trucks parked
Okay, well,
6 feet from the house. There's a car sitting in the yard. There's a walkway right there, a sidewalk, and he's almost on the sidewalk.
well, yeah, that's bad.
Oh, well, it's
Yeah.
worse. I'll show you some more. They're parked in the front yard. The front of their trucks are less than 6 feet from the front of the wall of the house. They got one of those 30-foot trailers parked over there.
Oh, yeah.
This is what the trailer does to the driveway. You can see the ruts. We'd like to get a code that limits these 30-foot industrial trailers in neighborhoods, but residential neighborhoods, but I don't know if we can do that, but they should at least have to keep them out of the
Well,
yard.
that does go to,
That is a oil or,
Nobody stated.
Yeah, he didn't.
Excuse me,
Okay,
real
well-
quick, could you give us the ordinance number you're referencing to?
I don't know if it's an ordinance number.
155.30,
Yeah,
Yep.
it's 155, I know that.
section 2.
.0.
well, I'll look into these
Okay.
and see, hopefully we'll catch them while they're there, so I can get them.
Well,
Yeah, point 30.
We'll give these to you guys to
Okay.
look at.
Mr. President, may I ask a question?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about on the trailer.
You know, I know.
Mr. Rawlings, so I think that sometimes might be a problem. You know, like you said, like he said, sometimes they might have everything gone during the daytime, you know, when you're looking.
Yeah, because we think we only work really between like 9 and
Sure.
30, something
Sure,
like that.
right. So is there any way, I mean, can citizens send photos, you know, that have, you know, that are, stamped with the date and everything, so you know date and time, so that you can see that
Yeah,
this is really
that
happening?
would help,
And-
because, you know, if we drive through a neighborhood and we don't see anything,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we figure, oh, well, maybe just temporary or somebody was a little misguided, but if you could send us pictures with the, yeah. So, yeah, that would definitely help.
Okay, and who should people send that to, then, what email?
Either rrawlings@muncieIndiana.gov
Mm-hmm.
or Hannah Collins at
Okay.
hannah@indiana.
Y'all right.
MuncieIndiana.gov.
Muncie.in.gov, yes, okay, thank you.
I had one more question, though. The front yard,
Yeah.
okay? Now, if they got an abandoned horse trailer, he can, okay, all right, thank you. I just need to get that question answered.
So, Chief Sloan with Muncie Police, this is Officer Darren Clark with code enforcement on the police department side. And I think there's
Right.
probably some confusion going on there too. Code enforcement is a little bit of an enigma in that the building commissioner has a part in it, and we do as far as parking is concerned, okay?
Okay.
So when we're talking about abandoned vehicles is its whole own thing, okay? But then you've got improper parking, which is what we're talking about being in the front yard. And it defines what a front yard is and the basic facilities and how this is supposed to work with people not being allowed to park in the front yard. And I think he could probably touch on exactly what they deal with, how many times they've dealt with it, and he's got some of the pictures of up there in your neighborhood where there's people parked in the front yard. And that is something that, when you're talking about losing ordinances, we did lose several ordinances, including parking too close to a fire hydrant, parking too far out from the curb, parking against the flow of traffic, those kinds of things. And we did have to get those back because it dealt with the whole, we've been through this before, but it dealt with the whole state home rule problem that we had. So we have been using, for abandoned vehicles, we've been using state code, all right? But for this kind of stuff, we are using city ordinances. If we're talking about if you're parking in your front yard or you're parking too close to the fire hydrant, those kinds of things, those are all under city ordinance. You want to touch on some of the stuff you've seen up in that area?
Yeah. First off, if we receive a call on it, we'll go. And if there's something that we can enforce, we will. We've received several calls about people parking in the street. If they're parking like on the edge of the street, what would be where the parking stall or parking bump or parking stalls would be, but there's no lines. As long as there's 10 feet on the other side of the car, that's permitted unless there's signs that state no parking anytime.
Now, would that be similar to two wheels being off the street?
If
I've just heard that.
two wheels off the street in the front yard could be actually considered parked in the front yard.
That's all covered under the parking code in chapter 77 of the
Yeah.
ordinance.
Mr. President.
Yes.
So as far as, just for clarification, my own clarification, abandoned vehicle reports go to the police department,
Correct.
and then improper parking would go to the building committee.
Improper
Those
parking.
both go to you,
Also,
okay.
Yeah, both of them, yeah.
You guys do the abandoned vehicles?
We do.
What's, like, say somebody's got a truck in their driveway with flat tires.
Right.
Loaded down with junk.
Right.
for you.
Yep, so there is a whole, under IC code 91321, there is a whole abandoned vehicle definition. I'll give you a copy of it if you want. So it's all kinds of stuff, located on public property illegally, vehicle left on public property without being moved for 24 hours, a vehicle located on public property in such a manner as to constitute a hazard. And particularly the one that you're talking about is a vehicle that is at least 3 model years old, is mechanically inoperable, and is left on private property continuously in a location visible from public property for more than 20 days for purposes of the subdivision, a vehicle covered by basically a tarp or other plastic or vinyl, rubber, cloth, textile covering is considered visible. So there's a whole list of stuff here for abandoned vehicle that the state identifies as this is what we're talking about. And I can give you that code.
Yeah, I thought maybe that would fall under like unsafe housing.
Well, and it probably can in certain situations, but this particular code would fall for us.
Okay, so I just need to get on you guys.
Yep.
And we
That's right,
actually,
that's right.
we actually did lose the city ordinance that pertained to abandoned vehicles.
Yep.
For quite some time, and then we finally just decided to go ahead and go with the state statute. Because what we lost mirrored that, and it fell under the home rule, which you can't have a city ordinance that mirrors a state statute. So,
And
I
we're-
did have a lady at the code enforcement, the lady that answered the phone, I don't know her name. I talked to her about the parking stuff again first of this year, she said they still didn't have a code.
Well, and that would be building commissioner
Right.
code enforcement,
Right.
not parking code enforcement.
Right,
Um,
and she told me to call the police non-emergency
Yep.
line.
Yep.
I did that, and whoever answered that day told me that you guys were very busy,
Yeah.
didn't have time.
And that can happen.
Call back.
And that's why you-
And I did call back, because I thought, you're busy all the
Yeah,
time.
and look, we answer, tons of calls a year, and that's why we have our own parking division. That's what these guys do solely. So yes, the guys that are on the road, our general rank and file officers, are very busy during the day. Most of the time, it's call to call to call. These guys, you want to give me your hours real quick?
yeah,
so
we
they
work
know.
Monday through Friday, 8 to 4.
So if they get a complaint from you,
Now, do you call the non-emergency
Okay,
department?
yeah, if it's off hours, but they've also got their own phone number at 765-747-4883.
Okay, let's say that's 765-747,
4883, and that's
Okay.
also under the telephone directory on the website for the police
right?
department.
Do they have an email address?
I'm sure they do.
I can't write that.
We just have individual ones right now, but we're
Okay.
trying to streamline this onto the
Okay.
police department page.
Yep.
Okay.
Where you can actually send in abandoned vehicle tips, stuff like that, and then it'll go to our emails and we can follow up on the
Right.
things, so.
Yeah,
we're
and
in
please
the process
understand,
of doing that.
if they get a picture of somebody doing something wrong, as far as a picture of a car that's parked illegally, we're gonna have to see that. That's gonna be something we're gonna have to go out and see.
Right.
But as far as building out the website, I think a lot of this will get cleared up when we get done with that. We're doing a bunch of stuff on that end that might help. But yeah, if you run into problems with abandoned vehicles or parking irregularities or whatever is going on, please give us a call. We'll come out and take a look at it. Now, if it's after hours, if it's after their hours, it's a good chance that the dispatch center is going to make note of that and forward it to them the next day, and then they can come out and take a look at it. That car may be gone by then.
Not the ones I'm talking about.
Okay, all right, no, that's fine, that's fine.
Now, the trucks parked in the front yard.
Yeah.
They're gone during the day.
Sure,
So I don't know if you have a second shift that could go catch them in the yard or not.
yeah, we'll deal with
But
it.
you can clearly tell, I mean, the front yard is, they've actually dumped gravel up into the front yard.
Yeah.
And they're parking beyond that gravel.
Yeah.
And you can tell clearly they park there.
And this code lays out exactly what a front yard is defined as. So, yeah, we can deal with that.
I think the right of way is more like 20 feet from the center of the road.
Yeah. It says a front yard is defined as a space bounded by a line extending across the front wall of the house or structure, excluding porches, to the lot line on each side and by the street right-of-way line.
Right.
So,
The street right
it's pretty
of way
clear.
line, I believe is going to be about
Yeah.
8 to 10
Yeah,
feet.
depending on where you're at.
Roughly,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So I
a
think,
long way from your front
I think the
door.
main disconnect here is just the fact that there are really two kind of sides or lobes of this code enforcement, and really just have to call the right people.
Right.
And if if you're not getting the answer that you want, these guys aren't available or whatever, you can always call dispatcher. You can call the police chief's office at 747-4822 also. I get a lot of calls about parking stuff there when they have questions. And yeah, we'll get the answers you need. Okay?
I can tell you that on January the 9th of last year, there were 3 tickets written for parked in the front yard. And then also February the 7th of last year, there was another ticket written for parked in the front.
And those are all in your area. Those are on Dunbar, Pine, and
Westwood.
Westwood. Yep. So, yeah, we're definitely,
Westwood got 3.
yeah. If we know they're parked up there and we find them doing that, yeah, we're going to take them.
So I understand that those are motor vehicles?
Yeah, or it could be boats, it could be.
Trailer,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great.
I'm trying to get to that. You said you was gonna, You're right, that's what I was trying to
You
ask.
have a horse trailer?
Mace, let me go ahead and tell him. I was trying to get it to him.
Point of order.
Because well, it's not that. We're neighbors, so we're looking at the same thing.
Okay.
But when you told me to hold off when I was asking.
Yeah, no, he can get to that.
It's a horse trailer, empty, just sitting in his front yard. You can't even get around it to get to the front. I mean, you got to go all the way around it to get to the front door. And they just totally ain't doing anything on this property. They make it look like they're building and what have you. And so I just want to know what can I do or get a hold of or however that works. And also, I guess the sanitation department can speak to the shrubbery and all that other stuff. But how do they get away with that? It's having an empty horse trailer in the front yard.
Call us and we'll go tag it and write a ticket.
Okay, because it's been there for, how long, man?
Yeah. You know, we don't know until somebody calls.
I know,
us, 'cause
I understand.
Especially when Ball State's in, that is a lot of our focus, is the parking issues around campus.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
And we try to stay on top of that, because if we don't, then it's gonna get out of control, but, feel free to call radio and have them send a parking enforcement officer out, or call the office and leave a voicemail, and we'll go down and follow up on it. But like I said, we won't know unless somebody calls to tell us.
Right.
And so all parking issues go to the police?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to
That's
see.
what I look at when I open up.
His front door.
We'll go out there tomorrow and maybe take a look at this and see what we can be done about that. Okay, just after this, we can.
So, Mr. President, or do you have another question? Sorry, I
No,
started.
I'm waiting on sanitary now.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Can we have like each of them, like, kind of just,
Yeah.
do they have, just to write out, I mean, just, kind of explain each of these groups, exactly everything that would go under them, like the basics,
What would
obviously.
fall under us would be any type of parking problem, or abandoned vehicles. And that could be on the street or in the yard. Sorry. That could be on the street or in the yard. So any type of parking problem, parking the handicap spot, blocking a driveway, blocking an alley, or abandoned vehicles on the street or on private property, that would fall under kind of our bailiwick.
Great.
I would fall up under the building.
Thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
We handle trash and debris and unsafe houses, along with our regular building, doesn't really qualify here, but trash and debris and unsafe houses.
When you say trash and debris, what exactly? Trash and debris?
People who don't clean up their yards.
Oh, man.
So you mean,
Yeah, we're incredibly busy.
you mean things that are just left out over a long period of time?
Yeah,
in
I mean, like
yards?
children's toys and stuff, we don't,
Right.
But-
No.
But, bags of trash, just trash in general. And we also have to take care of uncut grass,
That was my question.
That's what I'm talking about.
so.
I'll give you a call again because,
So anything regarding,
Like a bunch of trash and pickup truck drivers sitting there flat.
Well, that might be mine and theirs at the same time, but
so anything regarding debris around a home
yes,
or a business that's,
yeah, I mean,
Unkempt.
unkempt, I mean, just unkempt,
and grass?
12 inches.
12 inches, thank you.
And we're kind of a little bit behind on
No,
it.
I
so.
get it. I do.
now what if there got trash and debris, I'll just say debris, weeds and everything growing up on it's up against my privacy fence. I want to replace my privacy fence, but I can't because they got logs and everything or wood from the house they're supposedly working on, all stacked up against that fence.
Yeah, well, call us, give us an address, we'll go over and write them up.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Now, it depends on how sincere the owners are. We've got a whole bunch of people that are in line with the lawyer right now because they didn't do it. Some people clean up when you give them a little grief and some people don't,
Sure.
so.
So basically, my hands are cuffed then, if they're not gonna do anything.
Yeah, you're gonna be waiting a while.
They'll get it fixed, it might be 3 years, but they'll get it fixed.
That's his fence, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's bad.
So
Yeah.
Mr. President.
Go ahead.
So, Mr. Rawlings, the process is someone will call your office, you'll send someone out?
Yeah.
They'll tag it. Is there a fine the first time it's tagged, or is that just a notification?
Well, no, that's a notification. We give them 10 days to clean it up.
Versus a tag with 10 days, and then
And
after
then
that?
we give them a fine, and we also send them to the lawyers, take
Okay,
to court.
all right.
Excuse me.
You've been tagged during the selling. Does that count?
Well, it'll get tagged again.
Yeah,
All right.
good thing.
I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, but we've got so many, some of them just
Oh,
fall
absolutely.
through the cracks, especially if
Absolutely.
they're like in the backyard and you can't really see them from the street.
This is an eyesore from the street, so.
And then if the city has to go out and do, mow a lawn or something like that, is that even something? Do they go out and mow and then charge the homeowner for that?
Yes,
Okay.
we go,
And on what visit does that happen?
the same thing, it gets tagged after 10 days, well, probably a little bit more than 10 days now, but we go out and mow it, and it gets put on their taxes for the next year.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And so.
Administration fee.
And what is
then-
that, sorry, what is that fee? Sorry, that gets put on.
Well, it's, I believe it's a $100 administration fee and then by the hour, which I think it's like $50 or $60 an hour.
Okay.
I think the average yard's probably about $300.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So just so I'm clear, it's tagged for, and then 10 days, then they find and send to court, and then you send them out again to mow? Or
No, well, there's two
the
different
second
things.
visit is the
The,
mowing
the,
and
the
court?
trash and debris is a 10-day notice, then it goes to court.
Okay,
The mowing is 10 days and then we mow it
Okay.
and give them, and
Thanks.
basically bill them.
Right.
Alright.
And we usually don't take them to court.
all right. Just want to be able to answer. Thank you.
Anybody got any more questions for the building commissioner? All right, thank you, sir, I appreciate, oh.
Sure.
Hold on a minute. Oh, wait a minute,
Come-
come,
No,
we can't hear you.
we need you to
Reporting on the outside.
We'll need her to come up
Side
to
of
the
the house.
microphone. I'm sorry.
Could you ask the
state,
que-
state your name, please.
Hoarding things. Oh, I'm sorry, Candace Privat. And we have some people down from us that are hoarders. I mean,
Are they hoarding inside the house or outside?
It was both. They did
I don't know
clean-
about
we called-
inside,
We
but-
called
Yeah.
to clean the outside up some, but they've got, two vans and a car sitting in front of their house. They live not right next door to each other, father and son. Their vehicles are stuffed full of stuff and never done nowhere. But they're, and it's inside, so their garages are literally from the floor, front to back, to ceiling, full. I don't know how you can get in there and get anything out of it.
Well, I don't know.
But they had a whole bunch in their driveways, and we called, and they must have gotten tagged because the son cleaned the driveways up, so.
Yeah, but
There's
that's,
still some
we
stuff
can't,
out there.
well, we can go look at it again, but there's not much we can do if it's inside the house.
oh yeah, I
So-
understand that. No, the majority, well, that I saw was outside. And well, who was it I called?
When we called.
I called the health department because I thought, this can't be right, there's so much stuff, it was going clear down the driveway, all out in the porch.
Yeah, but I think the health department's got their hands tied kind of too, because we get calls from renters all the time about with, mold or something's wrong, it's like, we can't do
I
anything. about it.
called you guys, and, my wife called the health department because the elderly man uses the walker, and literally both houses, their front doors, if they had a fire in the back of their house, they couldn't get out.
Yeah.
That's what I was concerned about too, the older man. I know he's gotta be in his eighties.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, if it's inside, we can't do anything about it,
Right.
we can do something about the outside.
And so, Mr. Rawlings, one last question. If they wanted to call the building commissioner's office to file or to complain, what's your number that they would need to call, or who do they email?
Just the emails,
Same that you
Richard,
gave
R. Rawlings at,
Yeah, I got that.
And then your phone number there is,
I don't know.
okay.
But they can find it on the city
I
website.
believe it's 4862.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Donetti, could you come up for a minute, please? And this is just for information, I just want our committee to know what's the sanitation, code enforcement
And the
consists of, yeah.
citizens, yeah.
Okay. Jason Denetti, Superintendent of Sanitation and Recycling for the Muncie Sanitary District. So we all kind of work together.
Right.
We're calling each other constantly, working with the health department as well, depending on the situation. We do a lot with illegal dumping, trash, a lot of our own issues. So like improper placement of toters that are overflowing up towards the porch. Toters, we call toters trash carts.
Right.
You know, if they're overflowing up by the porch and no one's bringing them out to get dumped. Standing water in toters because of a broken lid issue or things like that. Tires, you know, all sorts of things. Even we've had calls recently about feces and stuff like that, which is unfortunate. But so we work together. We have 4 code enforcement officers that are busy staying on top of that. And we take calls all the time regarding that. We also have an online form on our website that you can fill out and report issues that we will go out and investigate. Our phone number is 765-747-4865. 747-4865. That's our main office. And then there's also an extension prompt to go to code enforcement if you had a specific code enforcement issue. And we have our own resolutions, the sanitary district does, that are mainly around those types of issues. And we do have the ability to fine. But our goal is corrective action. I think all of our goals are corrective action, right? We want to work with the homeowner, understand the context and the scenarios, you know, that are dealing with the situation, and give them so many days for corrective action, circle back and check on it, and try to work to get the problem addressed. So they stay pretty busy doing that on a regular basis. So
Yeah.
I think that's it. Any specific questions?
I have one, Mr. President. At the IDEA conference this year, I know that, I think you were both on the panel, and you had something like this, telling people what each unit's responsibilities are. Did you have some kind of pamphlet or brochure or anything like that you put together for that? I can't remember. I can't recall.
I had a
There was something like
I had
that.
a printout, I think.
Maybe just for each. It wasn't like one
Yeah.
for everything.
I talked a little bit with Councilman McIntosh about a who to call directory.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
There's one on our website that the previous superintendent, Phil Reagan, had put together that probably needs just a little bit of updating, but I think it would be super helpful for everybody if we had a couple-page pamphlet that was called Who to Call, and it listed all the different scenarios and
Yeah,
issues.
yeah.
And, you know, we could leave them in the lobby here, make sure they're on all of our different websites.
Right, exactly. I think that, if the city could do something like that too, and if you all could work together maybe and do something and put it on, both sites that
Yeah.
way, I
It's a
think
whole
that would be
idea for
helpful.
this meeting.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what these
'cause
committees want, yeah.
That happens a lot where you call one entity and, hey,
Yeah.
that's not necessarily what we do, and then we work together to pass it to the next entity or
Sure.
try to get stuff figured out, but it would be helpful to have more information regarding that, because there are so many different topics and issues.
Right.
Another issue that we deal with, we get a lot of calls about, is people not putting their carts back. Because they block sidewalks,
Yeah.
they block bike lanes, they're falling over in the street.
Yeah.
So our ordinance is, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. They're supposed to be back up against your house or out of sight by 7 p.m. on your trash day. So you're not supposed to put your carts out ahead of time. They're supposed to be out, night before 7 a.m. You're not supposed to leave them out for 3 or 4 days because of the wind and all the different issues. And then another issue we deal with on a regular basis is unbagged trash,
Yeah.
which you can understand how that's an issue because it blows around. And if the toter's overflowing, it's causing a lot of litter and other issues. So, but yeah, we deal with a lot of different calls related to that. And then piles, bulk items. Right now, code enforcement's very busy with Ball State cleanouts.
Yeah.
We get a lot of calls about that, to where the students move out and they just throw everything on the curb, and then it's like a neighborhood rummage sale. People are coming and digging through it and throwing it everywhere. And so we try to stay on top of that. And if it's a property manager, we've built good relationships with them to go up to them and say, hey, this is your property, you're a property manager. You can fill the toters and maybe have, you know, a couch or a mattress out there, but you can't allow the tenant to throw boxes and bags and loose items on the ground, you know, 4 days before the trash day and all kinds of stuff like that. So we deal with that quite a bit, especially this time of year. You could drive through campus and see it right now on your way home.
My son was just asking if he could put his bed springs out in front of his place that he's renting, so I know.
Yes. Yeah, so, yeah, in our bulk items, we describe on our website, the bulk truck is mainly for brush piles. And the brush pile guidelines are no longer than 8 feet long and no bigger than 6 inches in diameter and stacked on the curb so we can access it, not
Yeah.
leaning up against anything. And then the other items that we're mainly trying to pick up are stuff that don't fit in your toter, like a mattress, an old couch, furniture, those types of things. We don't do construction material. So a lot of people will try to do construction material, and we usually tag that and tell them you have so many days to take that to East Central Recycling to dispose of. And then if you're paying somebody to do the work, we don't pick that up either. This is a residential service we offer.
Right.
So if you pay somebody to cut down a tree, it's your responsibility to take the debris away because you contracted that. Or if you're contracting a remodel job, it's the contractor's responsibility, the homeowner's responsibility to dispose of the stuff properly.
So it has to be an act of God then, you know, when it comes to trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, we do help with storm debris
Right.
issues and stuff like that,
Okay.
but that's mainly what the service we provide.
Right. Got it.
Clarification, just the bulk truck is this claw? Is that the claw truck? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Okay,
Yeah, the grapple bulk,
yes.
Peterson is the name of the truck, so you'll hear a lot of us call it the Peterson truck.
That one.
And that picks up, that runs by your house every day on your trash day.
Right,
So that driver en route is doing 3 routes a day, driving by. So that's why it's super important to have it out by 7 a.m.
Right.
Because a lot of neighborhoods are getting hit between 7 and 7:30 a.m. And if you're dragging it out late, then you got to wait a week, so, or call it in.
So for that bulk stuff, those kind of things, so you could have that out on your regular trash day, right? You don't have to call ahead or anything. I think
Yes.
some things used to be call ahead or,
Yeah, the main things we ask you to call in for help and assistance are appliances,
okay,
TVs or electronics. And you can take all of that stuff to East Central Recycling for free at no charge to be recycled during regular business hours. But if we need a stake bed truck for it, we prefer that you call in that main number and request a ticket for that. But on the bulk items that I mentioned, we do have that grapple truck that drives by every day on your trash day to look for those items. Now, what we run into is a car is parked on the street blocking the item, or you lean the mattress up against your mailbox. Well, we're not going to grab that because we're going to take your mailbox with it.
Right.
So we'll put a green tag, or we'll send code enforcement out to notify the homeowner or the tenant. If you want that picked up, it needs to be laying flat on the curb so we can access it.
right.
Same thing with low power lines and tree limbs.
Right.
It needs to have some good clearance for us to use the truck to get it.
Thank you there, Mr. Dennett.
No problem, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more questions or any issues that people are dealing with right now? All righty. I just want to take this time to thank each and every
yes.
code enforcement agencies here. I appreciate you guys coming out for this meeting, and we did come away with the information we wanted and needed, so I really appreciate that, so I thank you. All right, I entertain a motion to adjourn. If all minds are clear.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, motion made and adjourned. Thank you
Thank you.
again for coming out.